Lease operators are making 12,000 a week. Cool. Bro actually sent me his settlement, and I'm gonna break it down for you. Let's get into it. So as you can see on his settlement, his truck revenue, his truck generated, which is his revenue, his truck generated $12,781. That's what the truck generated. Now, of that 12,781, the business operations to run his business was about $3,900. So that's business operations. In order for him to keep the truck rolling for that week, it was $3,900. Now, if you look at his fuel was about $2,800. So that left him with about, well, it didn't leave him. The company settled his business $6,044. Now, that doesn't mean he only made 6,000. It also doesn't mean he pocketed $12,000. Revenue, settlement, and personal income are three different numbers. So the 12,781 was his revenue. The 6,044 was the settlement, which you can say is his business profit if every deduction is on the settlement. But let's just say it is. So the 6,044 was his business profit. Now the cash flow is the money that's actually moving in and out of his account. So you have, that's where the personal bills and everything come into effect to see exactly what he kept after the business settlement was deposited in his account. So the 6,044 was deposited in his account, but that doesn't account for taxes and things of that such, or what he's saving, or if he's adding more for the maintenance account or whatever type bills he has going on. So people came to me in the comments, and a lot of y'all know I'm a company driver. So as far as the taxes goes, when you look at your W-2 company, you see the Social Security and the Medicare taxes coming out. It's something called FICA, which is the Federal Insurance Contributions Act. So when you're 1099, the self-employment tax is 15.3%. But when you're an employee, the employer and the employee splits that 50-50. So when you see the Medicare and the Social Security comes out, you're paying 7.65%, and the company is paying the other 6.5%. So there's some comments when people were like, 1099, we pay different taxes quarterly and yearly. And I'm like, exactly. So that's why when you do get the business settlements and stuff, you need to allocate more money because no taxes come out. And if you aren't paying your taxes, then you probably ain't going to be in business for that long. Also, it's another thing. There was another comment where the dude was saying something like, there's another comment the dude was you can like like you can write things off and you essentially owe nothing in taxes. Now that's kind of true. I don't want to say that he doesn't know what he's talking about, but people think if you spend 50,000 in business expenses, then that means you save $50,000 in taxes. That's not how it works. So let's say if the truck generates $200,000 and you have 50,000 and you spend 50,000 of that on business expenses, it reduces your taxable income. So the so instead of you being taxed on 200,000, you're going to get taxed on, let's say, what, 50. So you get taxed on 150,000. So when you're looking at it from that, and let's say your tax bracket just for is 25%. So now you do 50,000 times 25%, which is 0.25, and you get 12,500. So you save 12,500 in taxes. You don't just save 50,000 in taxes because you spent 50,000 on business expenses. A deduction is not a credit. You have deductions and you have tax credits. A deduction is just reducing your taxable income. Credits are reducing the tax dollar for dollar. So, you know what I'm saying? The credit is a dollar for dollar reduce of the tax itself. The deduction is reducing the income that you're taxed on. So if you make $20,000 and you spend 10,000 on business expenses, then you're going to get taxed on $10,000 versus the $20,000. So that's just something that people need to think about. Now, with that being said, if you are 1099 and you're trying to get write-offs and deductions, you have to spend money for that. So if that settlement is $6 million a week or 6,000 a week, that's good then, because you know what I'm saying. If that's consistent, then you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. He making, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But in order to save money on taxes and to reduce your taxable income, you have to spend money. So then when earlier when I was talking about the cash flow and what comes in and out of the account after the settlement, if he's making IRA contributions or self-employment retirement accounts or his health savings account, all of this I talk about in the Cowrie Code, you know what I'm saying, then that's also money that he has to dish out, that's dishing out of the cash flow in order to, you know what I'm saying, save on taxes. So there was another comment. The dude said that I'm misleading people to promote my tax business. I'm like, bro, I'm just I'm still studying part one of the EA exam. I am not licensed or none of that. I don't have my credentials or none of that. This is not legal tax advice. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm literally studying in the truck while I'm OTR and then telling you what I learned. That's it. So yeah, this is not me misleading. This is I'm trying to inform people and understand that yes, you can run it up. You know what I'm saying? You can not be with the mega carriers and you can run it up with the other people. Cool. Like if you're running it up with the other people and I'm a company driver, then obviously you have an advantage over me. Like what? Like what? But you know what I'm saying? That's just these are just some things that I feel like people need to know. And these are things I'm going to be covering on the Cowrie Code to inform people as I'm learning